Hey guys, Joe on it here again. Welcome back to the channel. Got a 2v2 field battle here. We have Rome and Pontus going against Saba, who I don't really see very often being used, and Macedon. So let's get over some army comps real quick. We'll go with the Pontus and Rome side first. Pontus is being led by Rodiolero. I think I said his name correctly. Let's zoom in here real quick. He's got 4 units of the Eastern Slingers. He's brought 2 units of Thurios Spears. He's got 4 units of the Mercenary Naked Swords. And he's got a whole bunch of pikemen. He's got a unit of regular pikes down here, levy pikemen, 4 units of Bronze Shield pikemen, one of them being his general. He's also fielding a decent amount of cavalry. He's got a couple of units of the Cappadocian cavalry. And back over on the other side, where did they go? He's got 2 units of noble cavalry as well. So good showing here from Pontus. We'll take a look at the Rome player, who is being commanded by Ricardo Bam Bam. He has brought to the field 5 units of the Velites. He's got 6 units of Hastati here in his front line, 3 units of Triarii in his rear line. He's got a unit of Principes over here, a couple of units of the... he's got 2 units of Principes, sorry. He's got a couple of units of the Socii Equites Extraordinari, a unit of Legionnaire cavalry, and his general is a general's bodyguard. Let's just zoom in, take a look at how his units look. They look kind of cool. Let's get a look at some of the Principes. I know you guys have seen these units probably literally 1,000 times here from Rome, but figure I'd zoom in a little bit, get some eyes on some units. Let's check out the Saba army actually, because like I said, I don't really see them very often. Saba is being commanded by Megaducus. He has brought to the field 3 units of slingers up on his front line. He's got 4 units of the mercenary Marib Guard. He has a unit of the Marib Royal Guard here. He's brought a couple of units of... 1 unit of Noble Swordsmen, and a couple of units of the Sabaean Camel Cataphracts. He has his general up here, which is another unit of Royal Camel Archers, and he's got a bunch of cavalry back here in the woods. A couple more units of the Royal Camel Archers, and he's got another unit of the Royal Marib Cavalry, and another unit of the Camel Cataphracts. So pretty cool. Let's take a look and see what the Cataphracts look like. I always love the Cataphracts. I mean, the armor on them is just really cool. I like the detail on them. So it should be pretty interesting. 2 units of the bow cavalry, 3 units of the bow cavalry, that should be pretty interesting to see. And then we get over to Macedon, who is being led by Bot Autistic Dog. Interesting name. He has brought 2 units of the Aspis cavalry, companion cavalry over here. He's got a whole bunch of hoplites. He's got 3 units of hoplites. He also has brought with him a unit of his regular archers, 3 units of the Cretan archers. He's got a unit of peltasts over here. 3 more units of his thorax swordsmen, a pike unit hidden somewhere. I saw them, I just don't remember. There they are. Unit of pikemen, and his general is a royal peltast right over here. So it looks to be about a 20-minute battle or so. So let's get this going. And I'm wondering when these cavalry over here in the woods are going to come out. So we'll have to keep an eye on, see what they end up doing. Rome is moving up his troops now. It seems that Pontus has already pretty much made their battle lines. They're just finishing off a couple of units, pushing out some of their Cappadocian cavalry out onto the flank here, and a unit of the Noble Blood cavalry over there as well. Macedon is kind of just toying around. Looks like he's toying around the idea of maybe charging his cavalry over here into the Velites that are moving up. Velites are... yeah, they're guarded. They have a unit of Noble Blood cavalry right here with them, so they're not completely undefended. Would be interesting to see if the companion cavalry comes out. Maybe one of the units takes on the Noble Blood. The other unit would more than likely be freed up to take out at least 1 or 2 of the units of the Velites, but we'll have to see. The Pontus cavalry has pulled back. They were a little bit further forward, but they're now pulling back a little bit. 2 units, 1 unit of the Cataphracts is moving up, along with a unit of the Royal Camel Archers. Actually, this is his general. He's moving his general up here. Pontus is still filling out their lines, moving over a unit of spears here now to help the cavalry, I guess, against these units of cavalry. Macedon here is moving out 2 units of his cavalry over here. Looks like one of them is going to charge into the cavalry here. Maybe the other one will be able to get a free shot. Nope, Velites are starting to pull back now, so cavalry for Macedon will end up pulling back as well. Along with, all the Hastati moving in and everything, they all have javelins, Pila capabilities, so probably a safe move for the Macedonian player to pull back all of his cavalry over here. Macedon has only brought 2 units of his cavalry over here. That's all he has actually brought to the field, so the cavalry is really going to be depending on what Saba is able to do with it. There are, there's cavalry on both sides of the field, but Macedon has the least amount of cavalry that was brought to the field. Rome has their few units of equites and their general, and they also have the unit of legionnaire cavalry as well. So we'll have to see. Looks like some more fixing of lines. Units going into their formations and everything. So still waiting for the battle to kick off here. Macedon is now starting to form up a small force on this side to line up against the Roman army, Rome is coming in on this flank, so they did eventually have to break off and make into 2 separate armies. I like the tag team of putting 2 armies together, but when you're facing the point of maybe being surrounded, you do need to push some units out onto the flank. Pontus cavalry still sitting here in the center. Maybe they're waiting for an opportunity for a good charge. Saba cavalry again moving out. There's the horse archers, I should say. They can be extremely interesting. Let's see, we have the two other units of the horse cavalry now coming out. Archer cavalry coming out. So we'll see what Pontus ends up doing with this. This should probably, is he pulling all of these units out here now? Looks like one of them is still sitting in the woods. The other unit of Cataphracts is going to be still hanging out in the woods here. I see a couple of abilities being activated. So all of these hoplites are now into their hoplite wall. So that's a good formation for them to be in. It's technically a shield wall, so that'll be good for them to be in. On this flank, on our right flank here on the Saba side, we do have a larger number of cavalry on this side than what Pontus has over here, so I would assume, Pontus is going to start pulling back, maybe make a little bit more of a defensive stance here with the amount of cavalry that Saba has now revealed on this side. Pikemen over here do have a nice little formation here in case one of the Cappadocian cavalry decides to come around and maybe slip through a gap somewhere and try and get into the back here, into the back lines. We still have more formations moving around. Okay, so the 2 units of the Royal Camel Archers are starting to move forward. They have a unit of the Sabaean Camel Cataphracts reinforcing them, and the 2 units of the Royal Marib cavalry are moving up as well. Rome is still making up his formations here. So let's see if we're going to get any sort of combat over here. We do have the Camel Archers taking some shots from the Slingers here. Haven't lost any men yet, so they're probably just going to pull back as they see that they are starting to get a little outnumbered here. We do have the Sabaean Slingers starting to sling away here, getting a couple of shots in on this unit of Thurio Spears. They lost 3 men. And the Sabaean player has now pulled out his final unit of cavalry, so he has shown his entire hand over here on the Pontus side. That should be a little interesting. I mean, Pontus does have 4 units of cavalry over here. There are technically 7 units of cavalry, but 3 of them are archers. So we'll have to definitely see what they are able to do over here. Archers can be a rather pain to deal with because they are much faster than, they're heavy missile cavalry, but they will be faster than the heavy melee cavalry. So we do have a bit of skirmishing going on now as well. Pontus has moved up his slingers. They are firing over as the Sabaean slingers are firing back. We have a nice little skirmish phase going off here. Still no real motion over here from the cavalry. We have some of the slingers starting to now moved up a little bit. Now they're starting to take some shots in on the infantry units of Saba and Macedon. And now we have the Roman velites moving over as well. Maybe they're going to start getting some shots in. That's going to allow some of the Pila throw from the axemen, from the thorax swordsman to get some shots off. Saba is already losing a unit of his slingers there, getting absolutely crushed, down to 43 men. The Pontus slingers seem to be holding up rather well. Okay, so Rome has moved his velites up a little bit too close. The 2 units of the companion cavalry will be able to get out here and get some decent charges. They're already breaking one of the units. Another unit is already starting to rout. Let's see what's going on over here. We have a charge of the Sabaean cataphracts moving in against the unit of the noble blood cavalry here. So we have a little bit of a skirmish going on over here with some cavalry. Pontus seems to be moving up his front lines here. Another unit of the noble blood cavalry has moved in against this camel cataphracts. So we'll see what Saba ends up having as a response to that. Also, the Eastern Slingers here are getting some shots in, along with the Pila throws from the Thurio spears. One of the units of the Eastern Slingers from Pontus is now breaking. The 2 units of the velites that had routed here for Rome have made it back behind their lines, and as you can see, they have composed themselves, and they will continue to battle on. The horse archers are now making their way in. They're getting a couple of shots off, maybe into some of these Thurio spears. This unit of horse archers over here has fantastic flanking fire into both of these units of Thurio spears. So the Thurio spears will probably start taking some losses. The Roman cavalry has now made his way over here in an attempt probably to aid the Cappadocian cavalry to maybe stave off whatever sort of cavalry charges that may come in from the Sabaean cavalry here. So far on this side, we still do have some skirmishing going back and forth between Rome and Macedon, so it looks like for right now the combat is going on this side of the field. Saba is pulling his cavalry back yet again, moving his unit of Marib cavalry back. Roman cavalry still over here. Thurio spears are reforming their lines here. A couple of units of cavalry behind them as a reinforcement. Pontus has now pulled his front line back a little bit, and now he's moving all of his Eastern Slingers back. Rome and Macedon still, they still having some skirmishing going on? No, not really. They're kind of just, I guess, trying to gauge each other and what they're going to do as far as their next attack. We have about a little less than 11 minutes left in this battle, so it's probably going to get crazy real fast. That's my assumption with that short amount of time left in the battle. It's probably going to get crazy really fast. We have the Sabaean slingers getting some good shots in on some of the Eastern Slingers here. Unit of the Marib cavalry was going to charge into the slingers here, but they have again charged into some of the noble cavalry, which is allowing the horse archers from the Sabaean side to get some shots in, as well as the Thurio spears to get some Pila throws in against the Marib cavalry. Pontus cavalry is starting to break. They are losing numbers quickly. Second unit of Cappadocian cavalry has now charged in. They are in combat with the Royal Marib cavalry and the cataphracts of Saba, sorry. Socii Equites Extraordinari has now charged in, and we have a unit of mercenary naked swords starting to make their way over infantry to push in to the cavalry engagement on this side. Let's scroll in here a little bit to get some of the fighting. See who's doing well here. This Royal Marib cavalry is starting to get beaten back. They are going to pull back out of combat. This one unit of the Marib cavalry, maybe they just barely got out of there before another one of the noble cavalry got over. Cappadocian cavalry moving in again. A lot of combat going on this side. Skirmishing has begun again between Pontus and some of the Macedonian player and the front line of the Saba player. Let's see, we have a unit of the Cappadocian cavalry that was chasing down the unit of the Camel Archers. Unit of the Royal Morib cavalry has now charged in against the Cappadocian with another unit of the Royal Morib coming in, but they are quickly being followed by a unit of Thurio Spears and the Equites Extraordinare from Rome. But again, this is leaving the Horse Archers here from Saba to get some fantastic shots. They have a unit of the Naked Swords moving in here from Pontus. Again, they will just pull back again to get more shots in. And these are Naked Fanatics, so their armor is garbage. They only have a 10 in armor. And now we have a full-on engagement here from Pontus. They have moved in all of their pikemen and their mercenary Naked Swords that were on this side still, now taking on the forces from Saba and a couple of units here from Macedon. We still do have shots coming in from the Eastern Slingers here from Pontus. Return fire coming in from the Cretan Archers and regular Archers, probably the Peltas as well. Also the General here is a Peltas, so he will be throwing his javelins in. How's this combat going on over here? The Saba General has pulled back. We do have a couple of units wavering here. One unit of the Noble Cavalry and a unit of the Mercenaries Naked Swords are starting to waver. A unit of Cataphracts are starting to waver over here as well. Problem over here for Saba. They have their general in fighting against the Noble Swordsmen, and this unit of Royal Guard has been surrounded by a unit of Cappadocian Cavalry and the Thurio Spears. Rome seems to be now moving up, so they will be clashing front line to front line with Macedon. Peal of fire just being thrown all over the place, men dying. It's fantastic to watch. Let's see what the... Okay, so Macedon is now moving one of his units of his citizen cavalry around over here to the left. He's moving his other unit back towards the center of their front lines here. Unit of archers here firing into basically flanks here of the Levy pikemen. This unit of Triarii has this unit of pikemen. They are attacking them from behind, so they will get a little bit of a bonus, which is good if you're rooting for the Roman players. Let's see how this cavalry is going on over here. Another unit of the Camel Archers has now broken. Hopefully they will more than likely not come back with 23 men remaining. The Sabaean general now has charged his way into combat, breaking a unit, starting to have a unit of Cappadocian cavalry start to waver. Thurio Spears are still here with a unit of the Equites Extraordinare for Rome. We have some Pontus flags now here wavering. A unit of the pikemen is breaking. They are the ones that were being attacked from behind by the Triarii here, but now they have turned themselves around. They have their pikes facing in the right direction, so hopefully they will be able to stay in combat here, but they are also taking a lot of shots from this unit of archers here, and also some of their pikemen are not actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, so that's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, actually this is a pikeman from Macedon here. I did not see the two different flags here. Naked Swords getting absolutely shredded by some more of the Pila throws and mercenary Cretan archer fire. Pontus is starting to lose some of his archers. I guess they were out of ammo. They were pushed up ahead of the pikemen, so I guess they were just used as a meat shield to some degree. Unit of the Morib Guard here is starting to break. We do have a unit of the Roman cavalry that is starting to come back, so we'll have to keep an eye on them, see if they're able to pull back. Saba has pretty much cleared out all of the cavalry that was on this side, aside of the one unit of Roman cavalry that is back over there. So they may be going to start coming in and getting some rear charges in on the Pontus army. Let's get over here, see what's going on with Macedon and Rome. Just a big old slobber knocker fight going on. 4 units of hoplites taking on, and a unit of the citizen cavalry, companion cavalry, sorry, that was able to get around to get a good charge in on this Triarii unit. So we have 2 units of Triarii and 3 units of Hastati over here for Rome. Another Roman cavalry is charged into the rear of the companion cavalry, so that should be pretty good for the Roman cavalry to get some kills. Roman unit of Hastati is starting to break here. A unit of the Legionnaire cavalry tried to break through, looked like they were trying to get a good charge in onto these archers, but they were pretty easily routed off of the field. Another unit of the Eastern Slingers here starting to rout as well. 2 units of the Eastern Slingers starting to rout. And here comes some rear charges from Saba. He's gonna... Okay, he was charging into this unit of pikes, but they have turned around, so he's just gonna come over here and finish off this unit of Eastern Slingers, which they have done. They are completely broken off of the field. The unit of the Marib Cavalry from Saba has now charged in to give aid to the pikemen, with the unit of Triarii and Eastern Slingers fighting over here. Macedon has moved one of his units of cavalry that was on the rear lines here. They have funneled themselves all the way around, so they are now completely behind the Roman and Pontus lines, and this seems right here to be their perfect target. This is going to be a fantastic charge in here, I'm going to assume. So we're just going to follow this unit of companion cavalry as they charge into 5 units of unprotected velites here from Rome. Excellent charge into that unit of velites. You can see their morale has just plummeted. So this unit will more than likely be cleared off of the field quickly, and this Macedonian player will just continue to charge in. I don't blame him. I would have done the exact same thing. You have units of ranged. You have ranged units out unprotected completely, and you have a unit of cavalry. Absolutely run them over all day long. Good job on that for the Macedonian player to pull his cavalry all the way around and get into the rear lines here of Pontus and Rome. Pontus here seems to be completely surrounded with the couple of units that they still have remaining on the battlefield. They have 2 units of their bronze shield pikemen, but they are, like I said, completely surrounded here. And just to top it off, another unit of the camel archers have charged in. So Pontus will be now eliminated off of the battlefield. So Macedon will continue on his push against Rome here, still just clearing out these final units of the velites that are still on the field. They still have their flag, so they may come back from routing, 45 in one unit, 49 in the other unit. But the companion cavalry is not going to wait around. He's just going to keep charging. Gets another big charge into a unit of Triarii. He has broken a unit of Hastati here with that charge. So Rome over here seems that they have gotten themselves pretty well surrounded. Unit of the hoplites over here now, though, fighting against a unit of the Roman cavalry, but looks like the Roman cavalry charged headlong into a unit of hoplites that were in their hoplite walls, so probably not a good idea. Looks like they're losing some men. They just lost another 2, 3, 4 men, so yeah, they're starting to get cut down. I would try and get that unit of cavalry out of there, maybe to try and do something, as I don't. Aside of, they have the 1 unit of cavalry here and the 1 unit of cavalry way over here, and they have not moved since their flags stopped wavering, so I'm guessing that maybe the Roman player forgot they were there, which is a shame. 2 of the units of the velites have returned to combat, though, so let's see if they're going to be able to pull up, maybe get some more shots. We have now under a minute left in the battle, so I don't know how much effectiveness they're actually going to have. They are kind of far away, and the unit of companion cavalry sees that they have returned, so he's going to start charging in over there, and it seems that at least 1, maybe 2 of the units of the cavalry from Saba will be charging in to take out the other unit of velites. We have a bunch of flags disappearing, a bunch of routing coming over here from Rome. Good rear charge here from the Principe unit against this unit of Peltas, trying to get down the Macedonian general, but Saba is quickly on their heels, getting a unit of his severely depleted Marib cavalry over here, but they will be hitting the Principes from the rear, so that will give them the added charge bonus. And I am, with 10 seconds left, this battle is more than likely over, as Rome has now, both of his remaining units have routed. That was a really fun battle. It was kind of interesting in the beginning with all of the units moving around, setting up lines and everything. Mega Dukas, I want to thank you very much for sending that replay in. It was fun. That's the 2nd or 3rd field battle that I've had the privilege of covering, so a lot happened. I mean, like I said, it hit about the 10 or 11 minute mark, and there was some kind of back and forth here and there, but we were just waiting for the combat to start, and it pretty much went headlong from 10 minutes down to the end of the battle. So, dude, thanks again for sending in this battle. Let's check out the post-battle stats here, if you will. We have Megas Dukas. He was playing as Saba. His horse archers did pretty well. His general 165, this unit with 29, the other unit with 190. So pretty well done job there with the horse archers. They also did get some charges in near the end there. Royal Marib Cavalry got 120, 29, 157, and 20. Actually, 157 and 23 are for the Camel Cataphracts from Saba. So pretty good charges in there. I think this is the unit that got charged off the field real quick. They had taken a bunch of slinger shots and charged in by another unit of the Pontus Cavalry. His slingers really didn't perform very well. 24, 5, and 23. Unit of Marib Royal Guard 163, pretty good there. The Mercenary Marib Guard 21, 49, 73, and 43, and his Noble Swordsman. I believe they were fighting one of the generals. I think it was the Pontus general. They only ended up with 22 kills. Bot Autistic Dog was the general of Macedon. His general walked away with 157 kills. Good job there. His cavalry did pretty well. Actually, really well. One of them with 128. The other one here with 427. Fantastic gameplay here. Guy with this cavalry. That was really good. Good job there. His archers did pretty well, 114, 65, 128, 121, and 148. His Peltas with 93 kills, but they are also an infantry unit, so he might have only used them in situations that they were needed, but as you can see, they did lose a lot of their unit. They probably were one of the ones that routed. Hoplites here, 75, 100, 68, 73. His pikemen did 191, pretty good job there. And his 3 units of Thorax Swordsmen, 71, 175, and 137. Let's get over on to the opposite side here. We have Pontus, who was led by Roderliro. Sorry if I'm messing up your name again. His Bronze Shield pikemen, 42, 64, 84, 84. His Levy pikemen, 26, and his normal pikemen, 38. His Thurio Spears 37 and 81, but they did get a lot of kills in on the cavalry from Saba. A lot of Pila throws. Naked Mercenary Swords 18, 57, 89, and 75. So really not that great of kills for units that probably cost at least mid-range gold. His Slingers did pretty well. 104, 124. This unit with only 42. I think that might have been charged in at some point. This unit with 111. And his cavalry really did not produce very well against the Saba cavalry, so that's kind of upsetting to see. The Cappadocian cavalry I usually see get well over 150, maybe 200 kills. And the Noble Blood cavalry, again, not performing very well. The cavalry here, 17, 38, 33, and 13. And let's get to the Roman player here, who again was commanded by Ricardo Bam Bam. His general with only 16 kills, the Legionnaire Cavalry only 11, and his 2 units of Extraordinare 36 and 74. His Velites really didn't have very much of an opportunity to do anything as they were charged in by one of the units. Actually, this unit of the Companion Cavalry here, they had 11, 0, 5, 7, and 13. His Hastati did not very well also. Sorry, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. They didn't really do very well either. 34, 36, 42, 28, 39, and 16. Not really great numbers here for a front line. His Principes 81. This unit did pretty well, 143. And his 3 units of Triarii 15, 36, and 75. So, yeah, like I said, Megas Dukas, thank you very much again for sending in this replay. And I hope you guys enjoy the content that I'm throwing up onto my channel. If you guys are enjoying any of the content, please make sure that you give to likes and comments on the videos, and feel free to subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you guys soon.